Hi, thanks for joining us again. My name is Mike. As always, Jacques
Thank you for
from
having
Inuit
me.
Art. How's it going?
Great, thank you.
Good. Look, this has been a really fun series. We've done a bunch of these now, and every time I'm learning more and more. This is an opportunity, though, while I've got you in the studio. I asked, can you hang around just one more minute? Because I just like to ask some questions about your existence overall. Your gallery in Toronto is outstanding. It has the premier Inuit art available in this country from the best artists in the field. And you've been at it for some time. This is not something that just happens. You just don't go and become an agent of this kind of artwork in Canada. You're well ensconced. How long have you been doing this, and how did that happen to start with?
Well, I've been doing this since 1982, believe it or not. I do look a lot younger
That is
than what I
true.
am.
Wow, you're dancing bear youthful. You are.
So I've been doing this like for 41, 42 years now. And how it started back in 1982, where at that time I was actually working for the Canadian government for Transport Canada. And during the time that I was working for them, one of the things I had to do during my contract is actually go and work in the Arctic. So they actually shipped me up to the Arctic. I wound up staying there 3 years in the Iqaluit. And when I arrived in 1982, basically I just fell in love with the art, and the Inuit would come to my door and at nighttime and knock on my door and ask me if I wanted to buy some of their sculptures. And like, being someone that I had grown around it because my dad had gone to the Arctic.
Oh, okay.
So at the age of like, I remember being 6, 8, 9 years old, like he had like 4 or 5 little sculptures that basically were on the radio or the TV, and I wasn't allowed to touch them. I can only look at them.
Don't touch those, Jacques.
And basically, so when I actually wound up in the Arctic and the Inuit would come with these carvings to sell at me at nighttime, I couldn't say no. They were lovely, they were beautiful. So after 3 months of buying like about like maybe 25 or 30 of them, I figured, you know what? I can't just keep on buying them and buying them and buying them, right? So I figured on my next trip down to Montreal, I'll bring some with me and I can actually see if I can actually sell some art galleries. So I actually brought them with me on my trip to Montreal after being up there for about 3 months. And I walked around Sherbrooke Street with a suitcase with these sculptures. And I actually was able to sell them and make a decent profit. And that was like the cornerstone who actually got me more and more into the business. As when I went back to Frobisher Bay, which is now called the Iqaluit, I actually continued buying from the artists. And every 6 months, when I would go to Montreal, I would actually bring them with me and go to the galleries and sell them. And slowly but surely, eventually with time, 10 years working for the government, I had it. I couldn't take it anymore.
I've heard this happens.
And basically, I had started selling more and more to the galleries. So I just decided to quit the job and go full time in my new career as a dealer in Inuit art. So I
Wow.
started off as a wholesaler, and I still am, and then wound up also doing retailing with my own gallery.
It's a once again, it's a fascinating story because you actually came about your passion by miracle.
Yes,
It's so funny.
exactly. Yeah,
And
I love it with a passion. I don't find this like work. This is
I've noticed
fun.
that. I've noticed
This is
that about
fun.
you. You have a joy about you that is, look at this piece like you've never seen Inuit art before. Every piece is beautiful in your eyes, and of course, you must be a staple in the community up there. What's it like when you visit, and what's the relationship like with the artists that you have?
I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't really have that much of a direct relationship with the artists because I have buyers on site who actually buy for me and they're commissioned.
Mhm.
I do know a few artists, like for example, Ohito Ashuna, who actually came to Toronto and was working at the Eskimo Art Gallery here in Toronto. And I got to know him, became a friend with him. I actually organized some shows for him in France, and I traveled with him to France.
Fantastic.
Now he's back living in Cape Dorset. And anytime I go up there, I'm welcome to go and see him. He's actually offered me to go on a polar bear hunting trip with him.
We need you here. Let's just let's just enjoy these polar bears, okay, Jacques? Stay within the realm of safety. These are beautiful works of art. One of the things I wanted to do, if you don't mind, is reach out to you. Maybe you have a question for Jacques that you'd like to ask. I'll tell you how I got him to do this. I sent him an email. I'll recommend you do the very same thing. And if there's a topic you think that we should be talking about, he's the most open and honest guy about artwork of the Inuit variety and just in general. I'll recommend Jacques as your guy. So just reach out to him. Where can people email you? Do you have a preference?
At the gallery, which is basically info@baffinuitart.com.
Do it. And those topics, I'm sure, will end up right here on this series as well. So, well, listen, Jacques, I wish you continued success.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to doing this again. I guess in the next couple of weeks, we'll have another one of these. So thanks so much.
Thank you.